Good morning, welcome back to another What I Eat in a Day, my first of 2020, showing you everything that I eat in a day. If you missed any of my previous, I've got a full playlist linked down below. I know when I find someone who does these videos, I always watch every single one. Starting off my day with an iced coffee. I've got some unsweetened almond milk in here and a little Premier protein. That's something I see a lot of girls who are on Weight Watchers do. I've talked about before how I can't find many people on YouTube. I've got about 4 or 5 that I watch that seem to do portion control over like cutting carbs or any particular like diet, just kind of general portion control. But in addition to that, people who do Weight Watchers are good to watch, although they're using like the point system and stuff. It's just good to get like some nice ideas when they're not being restrictive in terms of, you know, no dairy, no vegan, blah blah blah, like all the different things that are out there. I can get like lots of ideas from them. So starting with this, I do not eat till 12. It is now 10 o'clock, so a little bit of a later start to the day. I actually went to spin this morning for the first time in a very long time, hoping to actually exercise this year. That's a question I get a lot, is how much exercise did you do to lose weight? Almost none. It was basically 100% what I ate. So now it's actually a matter of time to try and get healthy and strong. Yeah, so anyways, I'm gonna check back with you in about 2 hours for lunch. So it's now time for lunch, and I'm gonna be making a chicken, like a pulled chicken sandwich that I'm gonna be dipping into some chalet sauce. If you're Canadian, this kind of like, I feel like splits Canadians down the middle. Either you love it or hate it. It's kind of a gravy-ish, but there's quite a few spices in it, I guess. Very salty. I have the low sodium one. So yeah, I've got these Dempster's sandwich buns, or kind of hamburger buns here. This is chicken I put in the crock pot last night. It's a mix of chicken breasts and chicken thighs because that's what we had, along with some sugar-free barbecue sauce, onion, and a little paprika and some garlic. So that's what's going on the sandwich. And then here I'm putting these in the air fryer. So I've got sweet peppers, cremini mushrooms, and sweet onion. And I love, love, love vegetables in the air fryer. Not only do they taste really good, but it's very quick. If I was to roast these in the oven, you know, I've got a preheat, which can take like 15 minutes, and then you put it in the oven, it takes like 20, 30. These take about, you know, 7-8 minutes in the air fryer with a little spray oil, salt and pepper. And they're great. I'm not really much of like a cold raw vegetable person. I can be, but I would much rather have them cooked, and this is a really easy way to do it in my air fryer, which you know that I love. So I'm gonna go ahead and divide this up. My boyfriend and I are both splitting this, and I like to have like a couple things cooked, even if you're not completely meal prepping, because that can be boring and sad. I like to have this chicken cooked, and then I can use it in a quesadilla. I can use it on a sandwich. I can put it on a salad, which I probably won't do. But yeah, the sandwiches are kind of like what's on the menu for this week, but the chicken is very much workable. And it's just important for me to have some things ready so that I can, you know, stay on track. So I'm gonna assemble everything and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've weighed out all of my chicken and divided it into like how much a portion size should be. So I know a portion of chicken is 160 grams of cooked chicken, which actually is quite a bit, but I want to, because this meal is lower in fat, have like a little bit more protein. And I don't measure my macros like super closely. I'm not particularly worried about fats versus carbs versus protein, but I do try to get enough protein at the very least. So that's my chicken and my sandwich. I was putting Swiss cheese on this, but I'm trying it with the dip today. I haven't actually tried the dip. And here are the veg. So you can see like that was 8 minutes and they come out nice and roasty and toasty. Looks super good. I've got a pickle there too, because what is a sandwich without a pickle? Steamy. And then here is my dip, which I'll use for the vegetables and the sandwich. So a nice full plate and really, really tasty for me. Like, this is what makes it. It's not the healthiest. It's not healthy at all, but it is certainly delicious. So it's about balance. So yeah, here is my lunch. Time for a little mid-afternoon pick-me-up. I'm going to be having the Forever Nuts tea from David's Tea. I tried this recently and fell in love with it. It's caffeine-free, and it has apple, cinnamon, almonds, beetroot, and it is so good. It's like, I don't know, it seems like almost like a cake or something. And I had a sampler of it, and then I was at Loblaws this weekend and I found it and I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna try it. I try to drink like tea in between meals, but sometimes it just feels like torture. But this was actually so delicious. This is what it looks like. Camera is like refusing to focus on it, but you can see like all the bits that they mentioned in here. So also this mug is from Marshall's. It's really cute, but I find double wall mugs are so delicate. So for a tea latte, I generally put less water than I would for a tea to really have like concentrated flavor. So I'm gonna let that steep. This is the other mug that came in the set. I was drinking my coffee yesterday. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get rid of this glass. That's why it's still here. But this coffee is not supposed to be inside of the mug, obviously, but it's broken at the handle. I drank an entire cup of coffee, went to have the last sip, and the coffee is stuck in there. The mug I was drinking out of this morning is actually from David's Tea. That is a good, nice glass mug, and I've got like mugs from Dollarama too, but the double wall is so frickin' sensitive, so very cute. But anyways, then for the latte portion, I'm going to heat up some milk. So I bought a Nespresso over the holidays during Black Friday, and I got the milk frother, and then I'm going to use almond milk. This is not the unsweetened. Accidentally ended up with the regular kind, and it's so much better. So I think I'm honestly going to transition back to the sweetened milk, which I know is blasphemous probably. I'm gonna put in milk. I'm measuring the milk. It's about a half a cup, because it's like in a whole cup there's 7 grams of sugar. Generally I drink a quarter cup or a half cup. It's really not a big deal, and it just tastes better. So I am now going to heat this up, let that steep, and I'll put it all together. Okay, now it's time to add the milk. I let it steep for a while. I'm not gonna sweeten the tea. This is my first time trying to make a latte with this one, but last time I made a tea latte I used unsweetened almond milk, so I'm gonna try it with the sweetened. Looks pretty cute. I don't buy a lot of like coffee or drinks out, so I've been loving having my new Nespresso and kind of experimenting. That's very good. Doesn't need any sweetener. Love it. So it's now time for a snack. I just finished up filming, and it's almost 6 o'clock. I eat dinner kind of on the late side because I find if I eat an early dinner, I'll snack a bunch at night, and there's that whole thing of like, if you eat past 7, you're gonna gain weight. No, it's eating dinner then like chips after. That's what makes you gain weight. It's not like the time has nothing to do with it. So for me, I like to eat a little bit later in the evening, and I start eating at 12 to kind of keep my calories down, because if I had breakfast and lunch and a snack in the afternoon and dinner and something after dinner, that would be too much. So that's why I start eating at 12, because that's my preference. Some people need breakfast. I kind of trained myself out of breakfast, and some days I have it when I want it. But I've been trying to snack less throughout the day, and I've kind of slowly done that, and I'm always trying to improve my nutrition, because I think a lot of people get tied up when they're like, I'm gonna lose weight. Then you try to, like, you know, smoothie bowls and salads and quinoa and all this stuff, and if it's a really big departure from what you normally eat, it may not stick. So for me, I always try to find things that I like and just make them in my calories. Like if I want a poutine, I'll make a homemade poutine. If I want potato skins, I'll make potato skins, but within my calories. So it's satisfying. It may not be the most nutritionally dense, but it's satisfying both in terms of like being satisfied and full, and just mentally, because it can be really hard if you're someone who overeats and whatnot. So this year I've been trying to cut down on my snacking this year, because I work from home and I can easily snack all day. If you watch my previous What I Eat in a Days, I was snacking quite a bit throughout the day. So that is kind of something I'm trying to work on. And I always kind of talk about progress, and it's not about always making gigantic changes. It's about making small changes. So first I just started counting my calories in general. Didn't set any goals. And I was like, okay, this will be my calorie goal, no nutritional goals. Okay, let me try and stop eating breakfast, because that was, you know, something that eventually made it easier on me. Then it was like, okay, now let's like stop trying to snack throughout the day. It doesn't need to be a whole huge thing. And I'm 2 years in now, and over Christmas I gained no weight, even though I went off track. I wasn't counting, but because I'm in a different place mentally, physically, I physically can't eat as much anymore. So I think it's really, really important, if you feel overwhelmed, just to make small changes. People won't be satisfied with that. I always get comments like, why are you using white flour? Why are you eating white bread? Eating too many processed foods. Well, like, first of all, like, black bean pasta is processed. Like, that has nothing to do with it. But make small changes, because for me, it was about going from overeating crap food to being where I'm at now. So, you know, if you have 3 bags of chips a day and you want to have 2.5 bags of chips a day, that's progress. That's great. You know, you'll get there. So YouTube is a place where people were supposed to be able to show themselves, and you were supposed to find people you can relate to, and I think we've moved away from that, and that's why I really enjoy doing these videos. Anyways, that's my preach. Let me show you what I'm having for a snack. First of all, mini bananas. They taste just like bananas. If you didn't know, I didn't know. We bought them in Antigua this year, and we're like, or last year, we're like, oh my god, they taste like bananas. For some reason, I thought they might taste different, but I bought these because they're about 40 grams each, and that's generally how much banana I eat at a time, and it's just enough for me. And then that way I don't need to like cut a banana in half because it can go bad so fast. So I've got that, some strawberries, and then I'm gonna have cereal. So these are the Nature's Path organic rice puffs. I only bought the organic ones because it was a smaller bag. I like these rice puffs can come in gigantic bags, and I just didn't know if I would actually eat it all. So these are very, very light. So in 15 grams, which is an entire cup, or 16 grams, only 60 calories, and like pretty low in everything. So they're kind of like nothingness. So then I mix it with a little bit of all bran, which this is like flavorless and just all fiber, but I want to get some more fiber in my diet. So I have them mixed together. Then I've got my strawberries and bananas, and I'm gonna put some unsweetened almond milk on there. And I also wanna say that that latte that I had earlier was so good. If you're not a tea drinker, try that in a latte form. It's caffeine free. It had like more body and more oomph than I find tea can sometimes. Like, it really, really satisfied me. So anyways, I'm gonna have this bowl of cereal, and then later on tonight we're making some really good salmon, so stay tuned for that. So it's time for dinner. Lots of ingredients out here on the counter. So firstly, I'm gonna be making honey soy salmon. This is something that I made a couple weeks back when Nem's parents were in town, and I was like, why don't I make this kind of stuff for ourselves, because it's delicious. So for that, I have some salmon, and then for the sauce, super simple, some honey, low sodium soy sauce. I'm using some of this Trader Joe's mushroom powder, salt and pepper, and some sesame seeds. I'm gonna have some Brussels sprouts on the side, and then also my obsession with loaded potatoes and potato skins continues. So potatoes, this is the bacon I'm gonna use. I cook this in the air fryer. It gets really crispy. This is a great substitute for regular bacon, especially in the air fryer. A serving of this is 110 calories and 20 grams of protein and quite low fat. Then I've got some light cheese, light cheddar, and some green onions to top it all off. So this is something we've been eating quite a bit lately. It is really good and actually quite simple. Yeah, and feels really, really indulgent, but if you're kind of careful with your portions, you can totally make it work. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so dinner is served. I have the salmon here, which I topped with some sesame seeds, Brussels sprouts. We just did these in the air fryer, like salt and pepper, a little garlic salt. Instead of sour cream, I use non-fat Greek yogurt because it's super thick. And that is to go with my loaded potato. And it might be kind of weird to combine these two things, but they're like both delicious. So here we are. And Brussels in the air fryer are quite good as well. So This is dinner. I'm gonna have a sweet treat shortly after this. I haven't really decided what. I've got some nectarines, but yeah, this is dinner, and then I will be back for my last snack slash dessert. This is the last thing I'm eating. Like I mentioned, I picked up some nectarines recently. They're my favorite fruit. It's like already starting to go bad, so I'm gonna have that now because I bought a couple. And then that chocolate there are these sweet nothings. I bought these from Low Carb Canada, and I really love them. They're 30 calories each. They've got a bunch of different varieties, but this was the only one available. The rest were sold out, so I realized that they must be a hot ticket item. So that's why I tried the chocolate covered caramel ones, and they're really, really good. They're quite like dense, so even though they're only 30 calories, they still feel quite indulgent, and I'm actually pretty full. So normally I might have 2, but I'm just gonna have 1 tonight for a little chocolate fix. And yeah, that's it. That's everything that I ate today. Be sure to stay tuned for more of these throughout the year. I want to do them in a little higher frequency than I was last year. I've got some really, really good food planned. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SamanthaJaneYT, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.